When Russia and Ukraine are fighting, somehow the NATO allies want to shift the blame on China, the country that didn't provoke any side, the country that has been calling for peaceful negotiations, peaceful solutions since day one, the country that has already provided 2 rounds of humanitarian aid that worth over $2 million to Ukraine, the country that doesn't provide any military support to either side. And yet, the US and its NATO allies want to bring the fire to China. Honestly, China has very good, very friendly relationship with both countries. So during this conflict, China is quite neutral. It's not taking any side in this conflict. And more importantly, China is not fueling this conflict. And if you don't believe that, I will explain in this video some basic policies that China has and tell you why China is neutral. Hello everybody, welcome to Talk It Out. And before I continue, I want to make it clear that I'm not a government official. I'm just a journalist from China who observe events that happen in China and the rest of the world. I'm not speaking on behalf of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'm just gathering the information from China's side, either it's from media or government. As a Chinese, because I can speak both Mandarin and English, and I noticed lots of information from China won't make it to the English media, or they are being twisted in some way. So that's part of the reason I started my own YouTube channel. I hope to fill the gaps, fill the blanks. So on this personal channel, I hope to show the other side of the story, which means the sides that tend to be neglected by mainstream media. And if you like it, if you want to hear more stories, more information from China, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me, and your support drives me to continue. So the NYT says Russia asked China to give it military equipment and support for the war in Ukraine. What's their source? Just US official. No explaining where they get this, we're releasing the audio recordings or at least written documents to convince us. And we should just believe that? Because US officials never lie, right? I think all these unfounded claims from US officials have one goal: dragging China into the conflict, get the rest of the world into isolating and sanctioning China too, to weaken China. But apparently it is not working because countries from the global south are not buying the West's narrative this time. Before I get to explain China's relationship with Russia and Ukraine respectively, let me explain a crucial policy of China, that is the non-alignment policy. That means China will insist on being independent. It will not depend on or leech on another superpower. It will not form alliance with any other country militarily or politically. And that's very important to remember, because China doesn't form military alliance or political alliance with other countries to target a third party. It will treat all other countries as equals, have friendly relationship and cooperations with other countries as long as they respect China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. And it's also important to note, China will not determine how close or how distant the relationship with another country is based on the country's ideology or political system. Whatever ideology or political system your country chooses, China respects that. It's not interested in intervening the internal affairs and no political demand, just economical, cultural cooperations. China adopted this non-alignment policy in 1982 during the 12th National Congress of the CPC. China decided to adopt this policy based on historical experiences, abandoned the method of alliance, which is basically the mentality of the Cold War, and China decided to focus on self-development and peaceful coexistence with other countries regardless of their ideologies. So China's attitude towards the Ukraine crisis is based on its own assessment of the conflict. It doesn't fear the threats from the Western allies. It doesn't choose side because the conflict between Russia and Ukraine now is such a complex and should be left to the people in these two countries to sort it out, not by foreign governments. And now comes to the China-Russia relationship. And later I will get to explain China and Ukraine's relationship. China and Russia are not military alliance. Neither are they political allies. Indeed, China and Russia have very, very good relationship, and that relationship is called strategic partnership. And since 2019, these two countries upgraded this relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership in new era that is aiming cooperations and mutual benefits. And that means the two countries will cooperate on many aspects: economical, cultural, scientific, medical. And Chinese people and Russian people also have very good friendship between each other. But officials from both countries made it very clear, and China and Russia are not military alliance, and they're not interested in forming one.
We spoke about that on many occasions. We are friends with China, but not against someone, but in mutual interests, in the interests of one another. Secondly, unlike NATO countries, we are not trying to create an exclusive military bloc. There is no military bloc between Russia and China, and we've got no such objective right now.
I think there are several reasons for that. Because first, the friendship is based on mutual beneficial, mutual respects as independent countries. They have no intentions to target a third country. And second, I think both countries have very different goals on the international stage. And third, I think both of the two countries are quite powerful now. If they do form an alliance, that it probably will give NATO more excuses to attack. And about China and Ukraine. Actually, these two countries also have great friendship. The two started diplomatic ties in 1992. And in 2011, the two countries also announced strategic partnership. Ukraine is China's third largest trade partner in Eurasia, just behind Russia and Kazakhstan. And China is Ukraine's #1 trade partner. In 2020, China's import trade from Ukraine was $7.8 billion. And just in the first half of 2021, that import trade from Ukraine rose to $94 billion. And actually, many Chinese went to study and live in Ukraine too over all these years. Many Chinese already have families there. They were evacuating with their Ukrainian family members during this crisis too. So China is among the few countries that actually have good relationship with both Russia and Ukraine. And actually not just these two European countries. China have good relationship with many countries in Asia, in the Middle East, in Africa, in South and Central America. So I think China can play a very special role in de-escalating the tensions. But the way many Western politicians, Western governments talk to China or India, the way they talk to those two countries is quite condescending. Because rather than treating these two countries as independent, as equal, they demand or threaten these two countries to join their narratives, to join their condemnations. Dude, it's already 2022 now. You can no longer demand or threaten global South what to do.